following presentation covers conflict of interest allegation number 14 associated with the Aquaculture Development Area Program in Argyle, Nova Scotia. During correspondence with constituents in February 2025, the CAO of the Municipality for the District of Argyle recused himself from discussions and deliberations on the topic of aquaculture expansion in Argyle, and then violated his recusal days later and on several occasions since. For a CAO of a municipality, recusal is a formal step taken to avoid participating in a matter where there is real, perceived, or potential conflicts of interest. If the CAO declares a conflict and formally recuses, and then later participates in, influences, or accesses information about the same matter, that is typically considered a breach of ethical and governance standards. Here's why this is problematic. It undermines the purpose of the recusal. A recusal is meant to remove the individual from influence on the topic entirely. It also creates actual or apparent conflict. Even direct involvement, such as advising staff, shaping discussion, or informal input, can constitute participation. It violates policy or legislation. Nova Scotia has municipal governance laws or codes of conduct that require strict compliance once a recusal is declared. Finally, it erodes public trust. Municipal officers are held to high transparency and accountability standards. The CAO in this instance has lost the trust of the Argyle constituency. Let's take a look at the evidence. Evidence shows the CAO conflicted in COI allegations, recused himself on February 26, 2025, then violated this recusal on March 7th and again on May 29th, with other multiple occasions in between. The next email shows the warden violates the recusal with the CAO by forwarding him information in relation to ADA discussions. This happened 1 week later and was in relation to concerns brought forward by several constituents. It also adds to the ongoing prejudice shown to concerned constituents and residents of Argyle on this issue. The CAO continues to deny all allegations of conflict, suggesting they are entirely fabricated. Ironically, all allegations are based on Moda's emails and their own record. The next documented recusal violation occurred on May 29th with a meeting between the province and the municipality regarding aquaculture expansion. This once again documents a clear recusal violation of the CAO, who was in attendance. The right way for a CAO to manage a conflict of interest, especially one serious enough to require recusal, is to treat the recusal as a hard governance boundary, not a courtesy or informal gesture. More concerning are the ongoing violations of the recusal which show intent to serve industry. The following is a best practice framework for a CAO managing a conflict of interest. The CAO recused himself by email on ADA matters on February 26, 2025, after email discussions with constituents and councillors. This was initially the right thing to do. However, he did not fully recuse. He attended meetings, gave advice, accessed files, and provided influence on the matter in other ways. Recusal must be complete. Instead, he violated his recusal on March 7th and May 29th. This is documented. It's further documented in council sessions where he provided advice and guidance on aquaculture expansion during council sessions. This is documented by video. There are email discussions on returns of investment with industry, as well as the CAO accepting a position on an aquaculture development committee with the province. This all shows intent and full bias and support for industry prompts and expansion, as well as prejudice against concerned constituents. The CAO then hired staff for additional administrative support. This staff takes instructions that ultimately prejudice residents and constituents treated as obstacles to overcome. While he delegated authority, it was not done clearly or transparently. Information barriers should have been created. This would ensure staff did not brief, copy, or consult the CAO on the issue and restrict file access where possible. In fact, the exact opposite was performed. The CAO did seek legal and ethics advice by hiring Halifax lawyer Rick Dunlop through a subcontract with local lawyer Colin Fraser. Constituents are concerned as this creates a new conflict, as the findings will be delivered back to the implicated CAO and council members, who can then declare themselves as not in violation. In short, a municipality cannot investigate itself. It must be neutral and independent. Many violations of the recusal continue to be documented. The CAO continues with intent to remain involved to shepherd the desired outcome of industry, and this is being supported by the warden and deputy warden. Their bias and intent has been made clear. This scorecard shows a complete failure of governance in managing a conflict of interest on their part. This is not a perceived conflict of interest. This is evidence to show a real conflict of interest exists and needs to be resolved. Thank you.